Following the release of DeAndre Hopkins, I think the Arizona Cardinals might be the new worst team in the NFL. And I'll tell you exactly why I think that in just a second. But super quick, massive shout out to the God football player for the suggestion of today's video. Go drop him a sub. Their link is in the description. And of course, if you want a shout out just like that one, just let me know what team to do next. And then of course, when I pick your comment, I'll do the team you want me to. I'll give you a shout out. Hell, I'll even drop you a sub. And it helps me know what y'all want to see, so it's a win-win-win. But we've been doing pretty well with all the like goals lately. Let's see if we can get to just 200 on this one. And if we can, I'll have another one of these rebuilds out on Tuesday. And we are very close to 3,400 subs, like less than 20 away. We've been growing like crazy lately. Like hell, we just hit 3K. We're almost at 3.5K. So I really appreciate it a ton. Thank you all so much. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to be an OG of the channel while you still can. But very last thing, turn on notifications. I feel like not many people have them on, but if you want to get notified whenever I upload these videos, then that's your best way to do it. But that's enough plugging. I'm really excited to potentially make Cardinals fans mad. We'll see. But get a drink, get a snack, get whatever, sit back and relax, and let me tell you what I think about this Cardinals team. So obviously, yesterday at the time of recording this, it'll be a few days in the future for y'all, the Cardinals just straight up released DeAndre Hopkins. I thought they were gonna get at least like a third-round pick for him. I still think, I might be the only one, but I still think he's like a top 5 receiver. He's not really healthy, he's not really available, but when healthy, he is still very good. I guess I understand why they wanted to get rid of him. They're just going full rebuild mode, but maybe just teams weren't as interested as people expected. I really don't know why they just released him. And personally, if it were my team, I would have much rather just kept him. There isn't really much upside to releasing him. I mean, you don't save a whole ton of cap. That's one less weapon for your quarterback when you're trying to figure out if your quarterback is good or not in Kyler Murray. And that's just going to make it even harder for him. I just don't really see the upside here. I would have understood more if you traded him, trying to get capital for the future of this team, and you didn't see yourself competitive while you still have D-Hop, but I mean, it's not like he would be stealing snaps from too many players. I mean, maybe you want to develop Michael Wilson or Greg Dortch. I don't know. I really don't see why you did that unless he just requested it. I'm not sure. I'm sure someone has a better idea, but for now, I don't get it. And then the other big talking point of this Cardinals team is Kyler Murray and if he's good or not. I personally think so. I think the hate has gone way too fucking far. I feel like little shitheads on like Instagram and fucking Twitter just love to hate on players when they don't really deserve it. I mean, the whole Kyler Murray thing was like a funny-ish, interesting joke for the first like week, but then people dragged it on way too long, and then when jokes get made, players end up getting hated. Like, people think he's trash just because he enjoyed Call of Duty a little too much. Like, sure, it was a thing a while ago, but I think with all the attention to it, I'm sure he has gotten a little more focused as of late, and I don't think that's going to be a problem anymore. So I'm not worried about that almost at all. I'm a big Kyler fan, honestly. He's been good when he has an okay team around him. Last year he had absolute dog shit, and he was still fine. He wasn't terrible. Everyone thinks he was terrible last year. He had some questionable games, but overall I think he was decent. He's still a very high upside guy, and I do not think they should move off of him, because what the fuck is this team gonna have if they don't have Kyler? They're gonna have Colt McCoy at QB and like Marquise Brown around him, and then Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson, and that's pretty much all that will be on this team. I think you stick it out with Kyler, see what happens. If he sucks this year, then you think about moving off of him. But last year was just a weird year. Of course, something that I just remembered, I forgot about this because I'm stupid, is he's hurt right now, so he's not even going to play half the year. So it is going to be Colt McCoy for like half the season. But when healthy, I do think Kyler is a really underrated player, and I just think, as is the case with a lot of players in the NFL, the hate has gone too far from little shithead 15-year-olds like haha XD, he likes Call of Duty too much. But I think he's a good player. Okay, Kyler Murray rant over. This team is terrible. This offense isn't too bad looking on paper, but again, you're not going to have Kyler for at least like like half the year, probably. I like Marquise Brown. Rondale Moore, I liked coming out of college, hasn't been great in the NFL so far. You have good receiver depth here. I think I'm going to give Michael Wilson playing time. I really like him coming out of Stanford. It's just injuries are kind of a problem with him. He's not that fast in general, but he's a really good route runner. Drop issues sometimes, but those are fixable. I like him a lot. I might honestly start Trey McBride just because, I mean, we're not in a position to win right now. Zach Ertz probably won't be the best option there. I liked Trey McBride, again, coming out of college, but was not great last year as a rookie. We'll see what happens here, though. The offensive line, honestly, outside of center, is pretty solid. I think the Cardinals are going to start Paris Johnson at guard. I'm going to start him at tackle over Kelvin Beachum. Kelvin Beachum is a solid player for sure, but obviously Paris Johnson has the upside. And then on defense, I liked the pick of BJ Ojulari a lot. This edge group is not great. However, this might be the worst defensive line I've ever seen. Literally, for my custom rosters, which I try to reflect real life, just how I see these players, it's an average of like 67.5 overall. That's not ideal. We're gonna need to fix that. And then this corner room is also pretty fucking terrible. Rashad Fenton, he's just kind of fallen out of favor in the NFL for some reason. He was decent for the Chiefs like as little as 2 years ago, but I don't know what happened there. Isaiah Simmons is kind of a weird player. This whole linebacker group is weird because it's pretty deep, but do I put like Isaiah Simmons at corner or something? I could just play him as like a slot corner. That'd be so weird, but I could. You know what? Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to put him at safety, and we're going to kind of play him as like a sub linebacker slash like maybe corner. And I do want to start Cam Thomas at edge. He's a fine player. Probably not a long-term plan, but we'll see if we can develop him. Overall, the outlook of this team is really bleak. And to be honest with you, this might end up being the hardest rebuild I have ever done, because there just isn't a lot to even start with here. Looking at the future of this team, I could see Kyler Murray, Paris Johnson, Marquise Brown, Rondale Moore, maybe Trey McBride still being here, and then on defense, Budda Baker, probably Jalen Thompson, Zaven Collins, and BJ Ojulari, and that's like it on the defense. And it's not even guaranteed that all those players end up being good. I'm just saying those could be potential future options, or long-term options, I should say. So again, sorry for the super lengthy team breakdown, but there's a lot to talk about with this team, and I feel like it's fairly undeniable that this team is like, if not the worst, definitely like top 3 worst. But anyways, let's get into the rebuild. I'll rearrange the depth chart and everything, and with that, I'll see y'all at the midseason point of year number 1. Ooh, we have a training camp standout for BJ Ojulari. Let's go. I guess we'll go play rec. I mean, younger player. I guess that'll help out. I don't want to go tackle in case that makes him not a scheme fit, like makes him a run stopper or something. I wish it would do like pass rush moves and like realize what type of player linebackers actually are, but it is what it is. Still a pretty decent upgrade. Well, at the midseason at the midseason point of year 1, we're 3-4, which is better than some like 90 overall teams I have. What the fuck is this game? How is EA still allowed to run a fucking NFL game? They should not be. We are leading the division with a 74 overall team. Oh my god. Well, we have some upgrades here. Honestly, some really important ones. I mean, as you would expect, I don't have auto upgrade on, so I guess I would hope for some upgrades, but pretty much like every starter here, we'll definitely take that. But how the fuck are we like even close to having a winning record and leading the fucking division over teams like the 49ers and even the Seahawks? Like how? Just how? But for re-signings here, I do want Will Hernandez back, but he's not. I mean, didn't they extend him in real life? I might just put his actual contract here. If it was a 1 year, then I won't, but I thought it was like 2 years. Yeah, it's 2 years, 9 mils, so I'll change that. Was he actually on like a $500,000 deal? That's not right. Maybe it is, I don't know. There we go, so that should be good technically. I don't even know if I know how to make contracts in this game, but I think that's right. Also, it locked me from going over to Matt Prater. Wait, he's here twice. He's fucking multiplying. What's happening? But I don't know if I'm gonna bring anybody else here back. God, this team has to have like the oldest kicker punter duo. Andy Lee at 40 and Matt Prater at 38, probably even 41 and 39, if they're even still their punter and kicker. I honestly don't even know. But But, I mean, with that, there isn't really much else for us to do here, so let's get to the end of year number 1, and to be honest with you, I really fucking hope we don't make the playoffs, but we might. Alright, this has to be the worst game ever made. If you've seen one of my videos before, you know why we're here. I feel bad plugging again, but that's just tradition here. If, something happens at the end of year 1, which I'll reveal in a second, or just any year in general, I should say. But if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe, it helps out a ton. I'm sure some people probably skip the intro, so if you did, be sure to like and subscribe, it helps out a ton, like I literally just said. I'm repeating myself, I'm just depressed. I hate this game so much, but be sure to, also let me know what team to do next for a shout out whenever I rebuild the team you suggest. Don't be annoyed if I don't pick your comment though, because I just like to go either A, the one that suggested it first, or B, the one that suggested it the most. So if you want me to do it really bad, just suggest it like in every single video I do, and eventually I'll get to it. But here's a look at the team at the end of year number 1. I know something that y'all don't. Good amount of upgrades here, I'll spend those in a second, but with a 75 overall team in year number 1, we made the playoffs, going 10-7. The fucked up thing is, I literally thought that in my head at the midseason. I was like, dude, we're totally gonna finish like 10-7 or some shit like that. What is this division? The two decent teams in the division, in the 49ers and Seahawks, are last place, and then the two worst teams in the division, which I think might be the two worst teams in the NFL, get 1-2, both with a winning record. It would be cool if overall mattered literally at all. It should, but it doesn't. But yeah, of course, a ton of upgrades here. I'll try not to complain too much, but dude, this is so fucking stupid. We shouldn't be here yet, because I know once we actually have a good team, we're gonna go like 7-10. Oh, well, Kyler was like potential MVP level, 4,800 yards, 41 touchdowns, 10 picks. Absolute fucking monster year for him. Maybe it's not realistic that I started him because he is gonna be out for a lot of the year, but A, we don't know when he's gonna come back, and B, I have injuries off here, so he's playing. Rushing, James Conner wasn't great, but did have 13 touchdowns because he was obviously our goal line back too. Michael Wilson was our leading receiver with 1,250 yards, okay. 10 touchdowns for him. Rondale Moore with 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, really good year for him. Probably better than Wilson's year, but Jesus Christ. Marquise Brown, our actual best receiver, is third here. Love that, with 972 yards, 7 touchdowns, and Trey McBride, 840 yards, 5 touchdowns. Good year from him. Blocking was way better than it should have been, to be honest with you. No major complaints. I mean, for real life, that's not great, but for Madden, that's solid. Zaven Collins led the team in tackles with 125. 12 tackles for loss for Rashard Lawrence led the team, 10 for Ojulari, and then sacks we had like next to none, which is probably realistic, to be fair. 5 for BJ Ojulari, though. I'm actually curious who they're even going to start in real life this year, because I mean, Ojulari I'm assuming will start, but you have Cam Thomas, you have Dennis Gardeck, you have Victor Demukaje, you have, hell, even Majay Sanders, who I kind of like, honestly. And then interceptions, 4 for Zaven Collins led the team, 2 for White and Baker, and then 1 for a few players. How the fuck did we make the playoffs? Oh my god. What is this top 5? What is this top 6? Russell Wilson wins MVP here. Dak Prescott, Kyler at number 3. Pat Mahomes is up there at least. Matt Ryan on the Packers at number 5. Deshaun Watson at number 6. I can't in good conscience, good faith, put realistic in the title anymore on this video. I mean, I still will, but I'll feel terrible about doing it. But I don't have any control over this stupid shit. I hate it. I hate this game with a burning passion. Offensive player of the year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp, as per usual. Kyler at number 7, Rondale at number 8. I'm surprised Michael Wilson wasn't up here. Defensive player of the year goes to Aaron Donald. No Cardinals, thank God. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Michael Wilson. Maybe. I like him a lot, but I don't know about all that. We'll see though. No other Cardinals up here. I'm surprised Trey McBride wasn't up here. Aiden Hutchinson wins defensive rookie of the year, but actual defensive rookie of the year goes to Deontay Banks. That's fun. BJ Ojulari at number 7. So yeah, we have a cold opponent scenario. If we fucking win this game, dude, I bet you like the Eagles or someone didn't make the playoffs, like the best roster in the NFL, or like the fucking Dolphins or someone missed the playoffs. But we'll go smug response for the fucking, I'm swearing a lot, I'm sorry, I'm annoyed. This game sucks. And then we have a first of many scenario here. It shouldn't be the first yet, but it definitely is. We'll go play it cool though. As always, you know me. And with that, we're not going to jump in win yet, obviously, because it's only year one, but let's see if we can somehow beat the Falcons, who, honestly, are they even a good enough team to be in the playoffs? I don't know. We beat them. Oh my god. All right. I feel weird complaining about success, but this team realistically should not be successful. We're going to be playing the Saints in the divisional round, though. We have a recap for all this, and that's going to give us like a fucking morale and XP boost, too. So, I mean, could you imagine if we win the Super Bowl with this team? I fucking hope not. All right, give me those sweet and juicy staff points, too. And then the Saints are apparently a hot opponent, which should they even fucking be here at 12-5? Like, God, that's not that great of a roster either. We're gonna go be confident here. Shout out Bobby Shmurda, as always, hot opponent. Can't say that word because I'm a cracker. Let's go to the next week. Please, end my pain. Oh, why? We're in the conference championship. You know what, at this point, fuck it. Let's get to the Super Bowl. Let's win. Nah, but now that I said that, we're gonna get absolutely murked by the fucking Cowboys here. Cool, plus 10 like everything and 2500 XP. You know what? At the very least, this is giving us a lot of XP for the future. More growth from these games and stuff, so I'll take it. Please tell me we lose. Please, we don't deserve to beat the Cowboys. Please. Thank God. It's gonna be a Cowboys-Broncos Super Bowl. Maybe the Cowboys will ride the Broncos like your mother rides my fucking meat. I don't know. Upgrades at least. Let's get into the offseason. I hate it here. All right, the Broncos beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl here, 35-24. I mean, maybe if like Russell Wilson is good again, but we'll see what happens. 2 upgrades for Michael Wilson here. I'm assuming he went up to Superstar Dev. I'm hoping at least. If not, I'm gonna fucking give it to him. Well, maybe I won't. We'll see what happens. Plus 5 catching traffic and yeah, an ability slot, so he does get Superstar. I mean, I'll take a good start to the rebuild, but what the hell, man? Again, I've had like 90 overall teams go fucking 8-9 and miss the playoffs, and then we almost make the Super Bowl with a 77 overall team. It started as a 73, I think. That should be some kind of crime. All right, well, let's completely forget that first year ever happened. We have some re-signings to make here. I don't think I'm gonna bring anybody back. I mean, it's pretty much just depth players. I guess Antonio Hamilton is slated to start this year for the Cardinals, and he could be good, but didn't do much here. He's already 30. I'll pass. I'm sure Cardinals fans like Greg Dortch. He's a backup here. So with that, let's get into the offseason, and hopefully, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't even upgrade the team. Maybe we should just leave it around a 75 overall. It might have more success. We'll see. What the fuck? Justin Britt is just a floating head. What did they do? Look how they massacred my boy. Seahawks legend Justin Britt is now just a floating head. Breaking news. Can no longer play football. Is Tony Pollard good in this game? I would guess not, because like half the running backs are terrible. I mean, he's okay. Wasn't much better than James Conner last year, so I'll pass. There isn't really much for us to go for here in free agency. I'm only going to go after 2 players, and honestly, I don't really think we're going to get either of them. It's going to be Jadeveon Clowney and Desmond King. The Cardinals always seem to sign Jadeveon Clowney. We don't have the lead for him. The Cowboys do, but we'll see what happens. He does really well in Madden, too. He gets like fucking 15 plus sacks sometimes, because, you know, Madden loves realism. Jadeveon Clowney, known sack getter. And then Desmond King. We just need something at corner, honestly. It's kind of an overpay. It's like 13 mil a year for him, which, I mean, that's not like the worst, but I don't even know if we're going to get him. Let's see if we get either of these players. That's not English. Let's see if we get either of these players. I honestly doubt we will, but we'll see. We get Desmond King. Okay, that's at least an upgrade at corner. He'll be a good nickel guy. I'm fine with it. It's better than nothing. You know, honestly, looking at this team, after a little bit of development, we're looking like really nice here on offense. We obviously want a running back, but the offensive line played well last year. Jalte Froholt, the main like concern of this offensive line, went up to a 70 overall. So I mean, that's passable. He played well last year. Really, for now at least, I think we only need a running back on offense. Maybe like an offensive lineman, or if there's like a really good receiver that becomes available, but maybe not even, or maybe a tight end if Trey McBride isn't good next year or something like that. But our offense is good. Defense is still a different story. We need need an entirely new defensive line, another edge, probably 2 more corners, maybe another linebacker, even if Kaiser White retires, or not retires, regresses. So it's kind of a tale of 2 sides of the ball here. Our offense is looking good. Our defense still has some questions. But hey, that's why I'm here. That's why the GOAT Mikey McDingle is here. We're gonna make this team good, hopefully. All right, we have a 5th-year option for Isaiah Simmons. I'm not gonna pick that up. I mean, he's just a backup here pretty much. I could move him down to starting linebacker. I just don't really think he's a very good linebacker in real life. I think he needs to play more like a, I don't know, I guess just dime backer role, or just as like a box safety or something. I don't know. He's just not a very good tackler, to be honest. Not as good as he should be, at least. So yeah, we're gonna pass on it, but I will probably still re-sign him. You know, honestly, I forgot this team has 2 first-round picks. I had to go and trade for them because obviously, you know, this is set as last year's draft because you can't skip a year ahead with updated rosters for some reason. It just doesn't let you. And you can't change draft picks outside of franchise, again, for whatever reason. But obviously, the Cardinals traded down with the Texans in this year's draft for them to pick up Will Anderson. So now we have 2 first-round picks. The Bucks have the number 1 overall pick here for some reason. I mean, I guess their team isn't that good. Maybe they end up with the number 1 overall pick, depending on how Baker does. I don't know. But we have the number 8 pick. Ooh, linebacker top 10. That's an interesting move from the Raiders. But what do we want to do here? God, dude, I still can't believe how much backlash I got from from calling the Lions first round bad, for picking like a 2nd round linebacker and a 2nd round running back in the 1st round. The Raiders pick just made me think of that. But honestly, I don't know what I want to do here. There isn't really anybody I see worth taking with this pick. Ooh, this Deion Spiller guy looks pretty good. I'm not going to take him yet, obviously, because he's a 2nd to 3rd round projected player, but is a 1st round talent. So, I mean, it wouldn't honestly be the worst pick ever if I did take him right here. Just obviously not going to do that. I mean, we don't really need a receiver. Ooh, although, hold on. Charleston Killings, which is a crazy fucking name. His route running isn't that good. His deep route might be okay, but it's A to C. It could be a C. I'm not sure about him. I'm thinking about trading back here. Madden never has good, like, trade back value, so I don't know if it'll be worth it, but I would rather trade back than force myself to take a potentially mid player here. Oh god, that almost baited me. I thought it was a 2nd round pick just to move back 1 spot. Nope, that's a next year first. Oh god, I almost fucked up. Back to 22 to pick up a 1st and a 3rd. Honestly, that 1st will probably end up being almost a 2nd, so I don't know how worth it that is, but in Madden terms, that's not that bad of a trade. I wish it didn't try to project what the picks are gonna be next year so hard, because in what fucking world do you take this trade? Trading back your 1st round pick this year to pick up a 1st next year and a 3rd next year? Not to mention your 8th overall pick for that shit? Hell no. This is even more crazy. Your 8th overall pick for a 1st next year, a 4th and a 6th. I hate this game so much. I honestly don't really know what the best value is here. None of it is, like, even decent. I'm worried that this might be trading back too far, but we are going to take this trade from the Chiefs. Would not take this in real life, but it's going to be a 1st and a 3rd to move down to 22. I just feel like we might as well take it because we're probably going to get a similar player here that we would get at the end of the 1st, so I might as well. It's essentially free value. So we still have 2 firsts, and now we'll have 2 next year, and I think I'm going to do this in a weird roundabout way. I'm going to take, I think, a corner here. The question is which one? Ooh, it might have to be Lonnie Cooks. Ran a 4.42, which is the fastest corner outside of one of them. He also has really good strength. The rest of his combine wasn't, like, crazy, though. He does look pretty good, though. I'm surprised his press isn't better, considering he's, you know, 1st for bench press in the class for corners. This screams normal dev, but he looks like a good player. He's 6 foot, 186, 21 years old, left-handed, just like me for real, out of UCF. He's gonna have normal dev, but I'm hoping he's a good overall. Let's take him. God damn it. Okay, yeah. It is what it is, but I think he will be a pretty good overall. We'll see. I hope so. You know, there honestly is a chance that we go back-to-back normal devs. I am gonna take Deion Spiller here. He looks almost too good to be true. I mean, has lots of A's, lots of B's, is a 1st round talent in the 2nd to 3rd round, so either way, he's gonna be a good overall. I'm just really hoping for a dev trait here. Overall, good combine for a player his size. He's 6'4", 291, 21 years years old, out of Miami. Again, just he might have a normal dev, but either way, I think he'll be a good overall player. Let's take him. Okay, he has hidden, thank God. But I kind of do regret that corner pick a little bit, honestly, because there was a corner that looked really fast. I almost don't even want to check like the other corners that ended up getting taken, just because I know that there will be one better that I should have taken, but I still might check after the draft. We'll see. But overall, I think we did pretty well for the first round. I mean, we got a starting defensive end, a starting corner, a first next year, and a third this year. I think it was a third this year. Out of the first round, we'll definitely take that. Ooh, Charleston Killings is still available. That must mean he is not good, but that's interesting. I mean, it makes sense. He almost looks like a N'Keal Harry type, but he is kind of quick. He's not super slow. Huh, I don't know. I might honestly take him. This team is coming together a lot quicker than I thought it would, honestly. We're honestly not doing too bad at all. And you know what? We have a lot of picks this year. I think we can afford to take a risk here. Is he honestly even gonna play? I don't know, but this could free us up to like just not re-sign someone like Rondale Moore or something. This team is definitely lacking a big-bodied receiver. I mean, they have Marquise Brown, but he's like a pure deep threat. They have Rondale Moore, but he's like a run-after-catch / route-running kind of guy. They have Michael Wilson. He's like a pure route-running guy. Charleston Killings is kind of what they don't have, just a big-bodied possession receiver, and he has decent speed. Is he gonna be good? I don't know. Could he be? Yes. So let's take him. Normal dev, but could be a decent overall. We'll see. I'm surprised his acceleration is that bad. He had a good 40 time. I don't know. Whatever. Sometimes you just gotta risk it. Ooh, Josh Palumbo. I think I'm gonna take him here. 6'2", 309, 21 years old, out of Clemson. Good-looking center. He skipped the combine. 35 reps. That's pretty nice, honestly. Decent speed. Overall good-looking combine. Really good-looking ratings. Let's take him. Hidden dev in 69 speed. Nice. Huh. Well, I was hoping there would be like one of those fucking massive like nose tackle types, like 350-pound dudes, but it looks like there aren't any. Typically, I just like to take those because, I mean, they are typically pretty good in this game. They're decent overall, typically do have a good dev trait. There just isn't one here. Oh my god. 27 reps and a 5.45. That's not a great combine. We do definitely still need a power rusher. Cam Thomas did absolutely fucking nothing, but there just isn't anyone worth taking here, honestly. Well, here is a recap of the draft. We honestly did fairly well. Lonnie Cooks, honestly, isn't even as good of an overall as I thought he would be. He's just not a good player. That was kind of a whiff. My fault. Still could turn into a good player, but is only a 73 overall. I was hoping he would be around a 75, and I of course was hoping he would have hidden, just obviously didn't. He is a good zone corner, which is good because I just use like a million slot upgrades, and that gives him a shit ton of man coverage, so he'll be a well-rounded corner. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. He still could work out for sure. He'll start for us, so he'll develop. Dion Spiller, no pass rush to his game, literally at all. I didn't expect that considering he's only 291. That's a little weird, but okay, Madden. But fairly athletic, really good tackling, should be a decent player. I honestly kind of wish I took another defensive lineman earlier because we still need like two more, at least one more. Maybe Rashard Lawrence will be fine, but at least one more. But Charleston Killings was honestly a decent pick, 73 overall, just no dev trait, of course, which was kind of the big thing we were hoping for, but yeah. And just out of curiosity, what's his overall at tight end? We're obviously not going to move him there, but I always get curious with players like this. He does go up to a 74, so that would be interesting, just not very realistic. Wide receiver tight end conversions don't work out too much, although Darren Waller was one of those, and that very much worked out for the Raiders, so hey, maybe. We'll see. Josh Palumbo isn't as good of an overall as I thought he would be. He has absolutely no neck, but he's a 71 overall. He'll start. I don't know if I love that. I mean, Jalte Froholt was decent. I feel bad replacing him, but he's not a great overall, so it is what it is. And then Eli Harper and Jermichael Bryan are two picks I made. I didn't record them because I didn't think either of them would be even decent, and their overalls aren't great, but Jermichael Bryan has hidden dev, so I think he's going to start for us at edge this year, as sad as that is. But if he has a really nice dev trait, which it's probably just star, but he could be a good player. He could have a breakout year. You never know. Well, I guess a rookie playing well isn't necessarily a breakout, but still. And then the CPU thought, oh hey, Kyler Murray won MVP. Let's take a fucking third round quarterback. I get it if you're taking like a backup that you think could eventually replace your starter in like the third round or something. something, but Kyler just won fucking MVP. And there are no injuries here. I mean, the CPU doesn't know that, but still, even if you think your quarterback might get injured, you don't take that round 3, especially when it's a 64 overall quarterback. The CPU is so shit at drafting in this game. Like, we got literally zero value here. And actually, I do want to make myself depressed. I want to see, are there any, like, better corners that would have been available? Hey, it could be worse. We could have taken a 72 overall run-stopping defensive end with the first overall pick. It could have been worse than what we did. But nah, we did pretty well overall. The top 3 picks were fucking receivers, or not picks, but players in the draft were receivers. There was a 76 overall corner available. He was like 4th round though. I wasn't looking that deep in the first round. Lewis Green, who was one I was thinking about, is definitely a lot better. Hidden Dev, 75 overall, or Louis Green, I don't know what the fuck his name is. Kamani Shields would have been better. He was the really fast one, wasn't he? He had like a 4.34. Yeah, he was the second option. I was between him and the guy we took. Okay, he only has star, but still definitely would have been better. So I mean, there wasn't like a crazy good corner, but definitely would take that one back if I could. All right, well, here's a look at the team heading into year number 2 of the rebuild. And honestly, we're looking a lot better already than I thought we would. You know, I said this would be like the hardest rebuild maybe I've ever done, but so far it's definitely not looking like that. Just a lot of the players on offense have developed here. We obviously added Josh Palumbo at center. Wasn't there another lineman named Josh Palumbo? Or was it like Jason Palumbo? Hold on. I don't know. I swear there was one, but all I'm finding is an old college football coach. But either way, our offense is looking pretty nice. We're only a 79 overall, but it is a lot of players that I think will develop throughout the year, so I think we'll very much pass that by the end of the year. And then on defense, it is a lot of younger players here. We made quite a few additions, not divisions. What the fuck am I saying? Desmond King, Deion Spiller, I think was a good pick in the first round. We'll see what he can do as a rookie. Of course, like I said, we're going to start Jermichael Bryan. Is he going to work out? Probably not, but if he plays well, he was only like a 3rd round pick, so that would be a pretty big steal. We'll see what happens. Lonnie Cooks at corner wasn't a great pick, but could develop. We'll see. Overall, I think the team is looking very nice. It did definitely help that we had the 2 first-round picks, but with that, let's get to the mid-season point of year 2, and hopefully we can do better, although I think we're going to be much worse than last year, even though we have a better team, because that's Madden. What the fuck, bro? Maybe this team is just like goated in this game or something, and I didn't even know it. That kind of rhymed. I guess I'm just a poet, and I didn't even know it, which also rhymes with what I just said. Anyways, we're 6-1 here. How the fuck? We're 78 overall team. I know I complained about at the beginning of this year, like, I know we're gonna be worse, but that's because, like, we deserved to be, you know, where we should be with this team overall, which is probably like a 3-4, 3-5 team right now. Maybe like 2-5 or something. Not 6-1. How the fuck? The Rams are also 6-0. Literally, probably the 2 worst teams in the NFL, like I said, are the 2 best teams in this division, and probably the 2 best teams in the NFC right now. Yep, it looks like it. God, this shit ass, bro. This shit is ass, dude. We do have a lot of upgrades here. We do have an upgrade for Lonnie Cooks. Definitely want to go slot. Only 2-man, but that's still pretty good. Up to 70-man coverage now. I'll just auto-spend the rest. So, I mean, I would be happy if we had a good overall team, but we just don't yet. We don't deserve the success we're having. We do have some re-signings here, though. Marquise Brown, I do want to bring back, of course, 4 years, 56 mil. Didn't they give him a big extension in real life? I don't fucking know. Apparently not, but I'm not considering shorter deals. It's 4 years. It's not that short. If you want to see short, I'll show you short. What? Isaiah Simmons, oh, that's a lot more money than I expected. Do we really need a backup safety? I mean, again, I could play him at linebacker, but I also could probably find a better linebacker for cheaper than this. So, Isaiah Simmons, for now at least, we're good. Josh Jones, how has he been doing this year? He's not interested, though. He's been decent this year. He's been solid. Oh, he's really cheap. Very player-friendly. He's only 3 years, 13.2 mil, and he resigns. Will Hernandez has 0 sacks allowed so far. I'll bring him back. 2 years, 13.1 6.4 mil. He resigns. And then the rest is just a lot of backups. I could resign Rashard Lawrence. He's not very expensive. 2 years, 9.8 mil. He resigns. Hopefully he'll be a backup by the end of this, but he'll be a decent backup. This is like all of our depth though. We're gonna need to replenish that for sure. But with that, let's get to the end of year number 2 and hopefully, I guess we can do well. I hope, I guess. I don't know how I feel. All right, so in year number 2, we do finish 7-10, missing the playoffs. I wish I could like flip our records for the last 2 years because I mean, this was definitely a better team than last year. And I don't know what the fuck happened to our offense, but we finished 29th in points per game. Definitely didn't finish super well there. Let's check out some of the for the season stats, Kyler Murray was not great. I mean, for real life, that's a good year, but for Madden, that's definitely not great. 4,100 yards, only 3 away from 4,200. 28 touchdowns, only 9 picks, but I mean, that's not a crazy amount of touchdowns for Madden, especially compared to last year. Rushing, James Conner with less than 800 yards, only 3.9 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns. Receiving, Rondale Moore with 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Marquise Brown didn't hit 1,000 yards again. Trey McBride almost 900 yards. Michael Wilson definitely not the same as last year. Blocking, yeah, DJ Humphries is gone. We'll find a replacement there. Josh Jones was pretty bad too. I mean, once again, as soon as we start re-signing players, everyone starts to suck. Zaven Collins led the team with 124 tackles for loss. Good amount there. 12 from Jermichael Bryan as a rookie, and Deion Spiller as a rookie. 11 for Lawrence. And sacks, 8.5 from BJ Ojulari. 8.5 from Isaiah Simmons. What the fuck? Is this Jamal Adams or something? What the hell is this? Who are you? That's weird as hell. Deion Spiller as a rookie with 8 sacks. And then Jermichael Bryan as a rookie, only a sack and a half in full starting snaps. Not great. Interceptions, 3 for Zaven Collins and Lonnie Cooks, 2 for Budda Baker and Marco Wilson, and then 1 for Kaiser White and Rashad Fentanyl. Yearly awards, MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. A little bit better of a top 4 here. Like 4 of the best QBs in the NFL. Makes sense. Davis Mills on the Packers. What the fuck? All right. Offensive player of the year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp as per usual. No Cardinals. Defensive player of the year goes to Aaron Donald. No Cardinals. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Jamal Davis of the Rams. No Cardinals. And Deion Spiller wins defensive rookie of the year. That's pretty huge. Lonnie Cooks at number 6. Jermichael Bryan at number 9. Nice. So definitely not as good of a year as last year, but I think 7-10 is about fair for an 80 overall team. I mean, that seems about right. Maybe slightly better, but I won't complain too much. It balances out last year at least a little bit. But with that, let's get into the offseason, and hopefully we can improve this team even more. But the more I improve it, the more backwards we'll probably go, to be honest. So maybe I should just trade everybody away. In the Super Bowl, the Bills take down the Commanders of all teams, 24-13. Apparently those are like Madden's favorite teams or something. I don't know. I see both of them in the Super Bowl a lot. The Bills, that makes sense. They have a really good roster, but the Commanders, I do think they'll be better this year than they have been, but I still think they are, or at least they have been, definitely poverty, if you will. I don't love to use that term because that's kind of just like hater speak, but I guess it's a good way to describe it. But we have an upgrade for Deion Spiller here, obviously defensive rookie of the year. Good overall upgrade there. That seems like a shit ton for just one upgrade, and he does have superstar dev. I'm guessing he went up to superstar? No, he just had superstar. Holy shit. Okay, so that was definitely a very good pick at the end of the first round. I also love how unrealistic, dude, I've complained so much in this rebuild, I'm sorry, but he had like 8 sacks. He has 68 power moves and 67 finesse moves. He's not a pass rusher. I'll draft like players with like 85 power moves by the end of their rookie year, and they'll get like 1 sack. I don't understand this game at all. I don't. I'm sorry. But oh yeah, me saying maybe I should trade the entire team away earlier reminded me of something. I was thinking about doing a rebuild that I've done a while ago on the channel. I think it was like my 2nd or 3rd ever rebuild, one of the first. It was with the Dolphins, and what I did is, well, like I said, I traded away the entire team. It was a challenge where I had to trade away any player that had any interest from any team and try to rebuild from there with just whatever draft picks or whatever players I trade for. Now the last time I did it, people were fucking stupid and weren't listening to what I was saying. I literally explained in the video probably 40 times over, like, hey, obviously they would never do this because I could just feel it coming. I could feel the comments coming like, dude, why would you do this? This is so fucking unrealistic. The Dolphins would never trade all their players away. Like, yeah, no shit, buddy. I only said it 30 times and it's Madden. It's not like I'm controlling the actual Dolphins in real life. But yeah, I was thinking about doing that again. So if you would want to see that, maybe let me know. It would definitely be a hard challenge, but I think it would be really fun. I might do it with a shit team, and that might honestly be a decent way to rebuild them. That would be awful in real life, but for Madden, that might work. But for re-signings here, obviously Marquise Brown, we still need to re-sign. We'll up it to 5 years, 70 mil. He just said he wanted a longer deal. Okay, well, fuck you then. 28 mil. I don't know if I want to do that, honestly. I mean, he's a good player, but he hasn't really done anything here so far. I mean, he's been okay, but he hasn't hit 1,000 yards yet. We've had both of our other receivers outplay him in Rondale Moore and Micah Wilson, and Trey McBride has almost played as well as him. He's kind of like our third option, and I don't know if I want to pay him 28 mil for this year, honestly. Isaiah Simmons was honestly pretty good. I'll try player friendly. Oh, that's fairly expensive though, but 6 years, 71.4 mil. He doesn't re-sign. I'm probably fine with that. It wouldn't be very expensive to tag him though, honestly. I might just do that. It's 13 mil. That's about what the contract I was offering him was. God damn, like literally all of our backups are going to be leaving. But yeah, we'll just tag Isaiah Simmons 13 mil for 1 year, and we'll go into free agency with over 80 mil to work with. I mean, as you would hope for, maybe even more than that because this team sucks, but we'll take what we can get. Oh yeah, and I want to free up a little more cap. We can cut Zach Ertz. I still like him in real life. It's just obviously I wanted Trey McBride to develop, so we'll cut him. That'll save 10 mil. Sounds like a good plan to me. And I want to get rid of DJ Humphries because he was fucking awful. Second round pick for a starting left tackle. Maybe that's a bit much for DJ Humphries, but I mean, the Chiefs literally didn't have a left tackle on the roster, so they would probably be desperate here. Maybe make that a third. You know what? We'll stick with it. We're at the mercy of Madden so much. We'll take advantage of their shitty trade system a little bit. So that seems like a decent trade to me. And honestly, I think I'm going to cut James Conner too. It won't free up that much money, but 5 mil. I want to find a better running back. He's just not very good in this game. He's not like great in real life or anything, but he's better than he is here. So with that, we're going to have over 100 mil to work with in free agency. This is what we're going to try to do in free agency, and we still have 58.4 mil to work with. You know, it's tradition here. We're going to go after Brandon Ayuk. I get him in almost every single rebuild like that I've ever done, but he's just typically like the best option available. I mean, Mike Evans is technically better. He's typically here too, but he is 5 years older. So Brandon Ayuk is typically the best option. Again, it's just tradition at this point. We need to get him in every rebuild. Will be a good replacement for Marquise Brown. I don't know why the hell I forgot his name. Not really the same player at all, but a replacement nonetheless. Is a little redundant with, well, no, he's bigger than Rondale Moore. They kind of play a different role. Either way, we'll see if we can get him. Ed Oliver, again, with the repetitive signings. I know I do get him a decent amount, but it's just there aren't really many other decent options. It's always like the same players available. Grover Stewart, Ed Oliver, sometimes Derek Brown, but rarely. So, I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do. I can only do so much. We only have the lead we're only tied for the lead for him. We don't have a guaranteed lead. The Rams and Titans are also interested. My guess is he won't sign with us, but I'm hoping he signs with us. We're also going for Antonio Gibson here. Will be the James Conner replacement. Isn't much of an upgrade, but will play better, so I think he'll be an upgrade in that regard. And then Jedrick Wills is going to be the DJ Humphries replacement, so we'll see if he can play better. He doesn't play great in this game, but hopefully he's better than Humphries was last year. We'll see. Overall, would be a really good group to get. Let's see if any of these players sign. All of them sign except Jedrick Wills, but we get Brandon Ayuk, we get Ed Oliver, and we get Antonio Gibson. That's pretty massive. I know those aren't like insane players, but they'll definitely help out here. And just out of curiosity, is there anybody else that I might want to go for? I was kind of thinking about Carl Lawson, but he got signed. Right. I was also thinking about Alex Highsmith, but he is a speed rusher type, obviously, and we already have a speed rusher here in BJ Ojulari. The other side here is power, so he would have been like a 80 overall here, which would have been good, but it would have been an overpay for a player that wouldn't be as good in our system as he would in another one. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like I don't make sense with the things I say, but I try to explain them. But of course, we don't have the lead for Jedrick Wills anymore. I don't know if we can get the lead back, so we might just not sign him because that's going to be a lot of fucking money. 5 years, 84 mil, and that doesn't even give us the lead. I mean, we'll see if he signs, but I think we're better off just drafting somebody, unless there's someone I could convert to tackle. Meh. But let's see if Jedrick Wills does somehow sign, and he doesn't, but honestly, I'm cool with that. I'm fine. That's gonna leave us with an absurd amount of money next year. Of course, you know, the upside, the good part of of being bad is always having a good pick. So we have the number 7 overall pick here. The Giants, for some reason, have the number 1 pick. Kind of a weird top 5. Like, I guess some of them make sense, but the Eagles up here too? Madden's an interesting game, but of course we have the 7th overall pick. And let's check out what's available. There are a lot of good QBs here, and honestly, if Kyler had played how he did last year for both of the years, I would consider a QB, but that first year was really good, so we'll hold off. But last year wasn't great from a Madden standpoint. Again, would have been good for real life, but not great here. And it wouldn't have been like absurd for real life or anything. It would have been good for sure, but You know what? Again, I'm having a hard time finding anyone here that looks worth this pick. I mean, AJ McLaughlin, I'd move him to outside linebacker, obviously, but he just doesn't look that good. Straight up. Like, I don't know. He just doesn't look that good. Kenny Whitaker, overall looks good, but doesn't have much power. His pass block is bad. And he had a good 40 time, but his bench press wasn't great. Although he is kind of the leading option here because most things about him do look pretty good. Although, I don't know, the pass block is concerning. Max Harold honestly does look good, but he's only a 1st to 2nd projected player, so I might trade this down a little bit. I'm not going to go back too far, maybe just like 4 picks or something, 5 picks. Let's see what's available. Broncos are offering 18 and a 1st next year. That's interesting. Don't know if I want to take that though. I don't want to trade back that far. 15, a 2, and a 4. It's not good value, but for Madden, might be all right. You know what? I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to trade back to 11 to pick up a 2nd round next. That's not that good a value. It just isn't. I don't know if I want to take that. Here's the one we're going to take. It's going to be back to 13, but it's going to be for a 2 this year, which is pick number 6 in the 2nd round. So that's actually a really high pick. And then number 4 next year, or not number 4, a 4th next year. That's not too terrible of a trade, I guess. No, wait. That's a 1st next year. Oh shit. Okay, I'm glad I didn't take that. That would have been bad. Okay, that makes that offer look a lot worse. That's actually a fucking awful offer. That was terrible. Okay, we're just gonna take the one from actually the Jets, I think. It's actually a 2 this year and a 4 this year, and then the 14th overall this year. Let's take that. I can't wait for the player I want to go 1 pick before us. Wait, don't we have the Chiefs pick this year? They were actually not that crazy. It's the 17th overall pick, so that could be pretty good. But with this, we're gonna go Max Harold. Is he amazing? I don't know, but he looks better than a lot of like power rushing outside linebackers I've seen, as B awareness, B play rec, B finesse moves, which is realistically probably like a 65. I'm just hoping the A power moves is pretty good. A pursuit, which for a linebacker, that must be pretty decent. We'll see. Is he gonna have hidden? I don't know, but I think he'll be a decent overall. Is a low injury player, so that's a good sign. Let's take him. Okay, he does have hidden. He's not a great athlete, only 80 speed at 6'3", 257, but could be a good overall. We'll see. I'm just happy about the hidden dev. And then just like 3 picks, oh god, the Texans took Kenny Whitaker. But 3 picks later, what do we want to do here? Because now I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to go with a tackle here. None of them look really good enough to take. We'll probably take a lineman later, but right now, I don't know. There are a lot of like 1st to 2nd round guys, but none of them look that good. Ooh, Reggie Baker's still here. This guy looked really nice. We do have a lot of young corners already. He doesn't look that crazy. I mean, he looks good, but he is already 23 too. I think we might go with another defensive lineman, Mitch Blaylock. Looks like a good run defender. That's about it. That's not the best value for this pick. You know what? I feel like doing something weird here. I don't know what, but I want to do something weird. I think I am actually just going to take a lineman. It might be Josh Wyatt. I'm having a lot harder of a time with the first round picks than I expected to. You know what? Jay Hobson looks like a good player. I think we're going to go with him. He's not strong, really, at all. I don't know. He has a few A's, though. He's like the best player I can find. Let's go Jay Hobson. He's 6'5", 320, 21 years old, out of Ohio State. Let's take him. He has hidden dev, only 84 strength, but solid speed, not good acceleration. He has better fucking agility than acceleration at 320 pounds. Okay. But overall, he looks like hopefully a good player. We'll see. If not, then in my defense, I didn't know what the hell else to do there. There goes Javon Sims, someone else I was thinking about there. Hopefully he wasn't better, but he probably was. I think I am going to take a weird pick here, though. Johnny Palmer looks decent. Now, his ratings aren't good. I mean, he doesn't have a coverage ability above a C, but he did run a 4.30 at his pro day, a 4.35 at the combine, listed with elite speed, which that's pretty nice. I don't know if he's even going to start. If he did, he would start over Marco Wilson, I guess, but he's 6'2", 184, tall and slender, just how I like him. What? 22 years old, out of Virginia Tech. Is he great? I have no idea, but let's take him. Normal dev, of course. I feel like I'm not drafting very well, but to be fair, I'm looking at like every single player, and I don't know what to do, man. Ooh, a deadly 5 bench press reps, although he ran a 4.24. A 4.24 was only second? Did somebody break the combine record here? Ooh, definitely not that guy. Holy shit, 4.58. I mean, that's not like awful in real life, depending on the type of player it is, but typically Madden receivers are like always fast. God damn, a 4.25 at his pro day for this guy was 4th? Jesus. I can't find who was the fastest. I guess I'm skipping over some players. I'm only checking like deep threats and playmakers, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't find who it was. But either way, it literally doesn't matter. I'm just wasting so much time in this draft. Let's take another lineman, Brett Dixon. He doesn't have good power. Wait, he doesn't have good power, yet he had 37 bench reps at his pro day? I'm confused. He doesn't even have great... Oh no, he does have great strength. I was looking at speed. I'm a dumbass. But yeah, he looks like a good pick. Let's take him. Left-handed just like me for real, out of Oregon State. Hidden dev, 89 strength. Looks like a pretty good pick, because Josh Johnson wasn't super great last year. And then we pick again just 3 picks later. This will probably be our last pick of the draft. I do know who I wanted to take. It is Jamie Ball. So he's 6'5", 297, 22 years old, out of Georgia, obviously a defense tackle. His ratings don't look like anything crazy, although he could have A awareness and play rec, theoretically. I mean, could be. He's a bad injury player, which is typically a good sign. B tackle, B finesse moves, B pursuit. The fun part about him is his combine. Elite speed and acceleration, ran a 4.75 as a defensive tackle. This is almost just like Kalijah Cansey, pretty much, but in the 3rd round. And well, he's bigger than Kalijah Cansey. But yeah, this guy had a crazy combine, absurd speed, good strength, good jumping scores. I mean, he just looks really nice. Is he going to be great? I don't know, but it's like mid-second round at this point for Madden rebuilds. It doesn't really matter. So let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately. How does that make any sense? This wouldn't be a high upside guy. I mean, I know that's not exactly what Madden goes off of, but I feel like the players who are like limited athletically should have normal dev but be a good overall. Sometimes with star, maybe up to superstar dev. And then really athletic players should have like at least star, because that's not guaranteed that they're gonna work out, but maybe if you're lucky, like superstar or X Factor or something. I don't know. Maybe that's just me though. You know, honestly, this was a really not too bad draft. It felt worse than it was. I figured it would be decent, and it looks decent. Could have been better, but definitely could have been worse. I mean, we made 5 for 5, like at least good players, maybe even 5 for 5 starters. We'll see about that though. But Max Harold, our first pick, who I was thinking about taking with like the 7th overall pick, does look like a good player. 73 overall, obviously the hidden dev, good acceleration like we saw, 81 power moves. His finesse moves is better than I thought it would be. Sometimes linebacker pass rush moves are a little weird because it compares against, you know, like off-ball linebackers. I've explained this so many times. But yeah, overall looks like a good player. Will start for us. Hopefully he gets more than a sack and a half like the last guy did. Jay Hobson isn't great. He's a 72 overall. That's around where I expected. I was hoping he could be like a 73, 74, but I kind of expected a 72. Doesn't look bad, just no finesse, really. I mean, well, I wouldn't even say that. His run block finesse is worse than his pass block finesse, which is a little weird. So that means he's better at dealing dealing with speed rushers than he is like a speedy guy trying to make a tackle, like considerably better. And his run block is really fucking awful, but his power is better than his finesse for that. Well, I guess they're both close for both power or both run blocking and pass blocking. Whatever. He's an interesting player for sure. Is gonna start for us at, I guess, right tackle. Although Paris Johnson has been there and has been pretty good, but I just trust him more at left tackle. So we'll see how that goes. Can't wait for both of them to allow like 18 sacks each. That's gonna be super fun. Johnny Palmer is only a 74 overall, but I do think I'm gonna start him. I've been making bad cornerback picks this draft. Or this rebuild. Both of the like questionable picks I've made have both been corners. This guy I'm more surprised isn't great. Well, I guess his zone's just a lot worse than I thought it would be. I thought both his man and zone would be around like a 70, like maybe 69, maybe 71, 72. He looks all right though. He's just an athlete. Brett Dixon was maybe our steal of the draft though. A 75 overall hidden will start for us this year. I'm definitely happy with that. And then Jamie Ball, even though again no dev trait, is a 73 overall, will start for us. So I mean, again, like I said, Max Harold will for sure start. Jay Hobson will for sure start. Johnny Palmer, we could start him over Marco Wilson. Brett Dixon, we could start him over Josh Jones. Jamie Ball will probably start. So yeah, overall, decent draft. The CPU did better than it did last year, at least. I did take Tyrone Williams because he was like really fast. Only 96 speed, which is of course good, but I thought it would be like 98 because he ran like a 4.25 at his pro day. But it is what it is. Overall, good draft. Let's see what we can do in year number 3. And honestly, if it's good enough, this might be the last year, depending on how successful we are. We'll see. All right, well, here's a look at the team heading into year number 3 of the rebuild. Some changes this offseason for sure. Couple new offensive linemen, added Antonio Gibson. No more James Conner here. Hopefully Gibson can do better than Conner did. Added Brandon Ayuk. No more Marquise Brown, unfortunately. Just didn't want to re-sign, but it is what it is. And then on defense, added Ed Oliver. A lot of nice new draft picks. And by a lot, I mean, well, 3, yeah, good amount. The team is actually looking pretty good now. I do expect it to develop a decent amount throughout the year. We're still only an 80 overall, which is a little surprising to me. It looks better than that for sure. I guess we just do have like some 72 overall players, but of course we do expect them to develop throughout the year, like I said. I'll rearrange the specialists. It's trying to play Ed Oliver as like a stand-up edge. That's interesting. But with that, let's get to the midseason point of year number 3 and let's see how this team can do. All right, at the midseason point of year number 3, we are chilling at 3-4. Not great, but honestly could be worse. We still don't have a great roster yet. I mean, it's only an 80 overall. That's before upgrades though. We do have a decent amount here. One for Kyler, he'll be up to an 86. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't developed more because I mean, like I've said a million times, he did really well year number 1. And last year he wasn't like awful. So I'm a little surprised he hasn't developed more, but it is what it is. But let's see who we have to re-sign. 117 mil to work with. We have Budda Baker and that. Okay, no, we have Isaiah Simmons, Rondale Moore, Desmond King, Kaiser White, maybe. That's really not that bad. Budda Baker, I do want back. We'll go player friendly. That's not too bad of a contract. 5 years, 90.5 mil. Let's see if he takes it, and he does. You know, I'm gonna say something that might get me in trouble because this is a Cardinals rebuild. I do think he's slightly overrated, but I do still think he's a really good player, obviously. Like, overrated doesn't mean bad. I just don't know if he's like a top 5 safety. He's probably close though. There was no point in me really saying that, and now I probably just made every Cardinals fan mad, so I'm sorry. I still think he's a really good player. Isaiah Simmons, I'll try player friendly. 6 years, 66. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't do that. We'll try neutral. 5 years, 48 mil. Okay, he doesn't re-sign, but honestly, he's not that necessary. Well, he is kind of our starting like number 2 linebacker. Maybe I should just move him to middle linebacker. Why don't I just move him back? I mean, I don't think he's very good there in real life, but here he could work. I don't know. We'll see. Rondale Moore, I will re-sign if he wants to. We'll try 4 years, 41.6 mil. He doesn't re-sign, but we still might be able to get him, and then we can't negotiate with any of these players yet, but we'll see what happens there. Kind of struck out with some of those players back there, but at least we got Budda Baker back. And with that, let's get to the end of year number 3. Hopefully we can do pretty well. Although this one might end up being all about year 4. Damn, okay. Well, at the end of year number 3, we missed the playoffs going 8-9, which is fair. We only have an 82 overall team. It was a very winnable division, though. I mean, the Seahawks won it at only 9-8. The 49ers were also 9-8. We finished 8-9. The team is looking solid for sure, though. Unfortunately, both of the linemen only have star dev, but that's about what I expected. I mean, linemen having superstar is definitely more rare, unless it's like a super high pick. And on defense, Harold also unfortunately only has star. I honestly kind of thought he would have superstar, but it is only star dev for him. Doesn't look like he developed too much either, so maybe didn't have that great of a season. We'll see. Overall, definitely a little bit of a disappointing year, but again, we're still not an amazing team. We want to become one of those in this offseason, but we aren't one yet. Kyler was pretty bad this year, honestly. 4,300 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 picks. For real life, that's not even like a great season. For Madden, that's pretty terrible. I mean, that's not a bad season in real life at all, but for Madden, that's really bad. 1,000 yards for Antonio Gibson, 4 per carry, 11 touchdowns. Definitely an upgrade over James Conner. Kyler added 430 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. Rondale Moore led the team with almost 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. Michael Wilson with 975 and 6. Trey McBride is getting better every year. 921 yards, 5 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk, only 700 yards. We just aren't using our number one receiver like ever. I don't know why. It seems like our offense is completely different than the first year. I don't know why. Blocking, Jay Hobson was really fucking good as a rookie. Brett Dixon was bad. Josh Palumbo was pretty bad. Will Hernandez was solid. On defense, Zaven Collins led the team with 119 tackles. Tackles for loss, we had 16 from Deion Spiller, 13 for Ed Oliver, 12 for Max Harold. And sacks, 8 for Max Harold led the team. He was honestly good. 6.5 for Ed Oliver and a down year for BJ Ojulari. And then 4 sacks for Deion Spiller and Jamie Ball as a rookie. In interceptions, 3 for Budda Baker led the team, 2 for Desmond King, and Marco Wilson as a backup here essentially. Still got 300 snaps, but pretty much a backup. And then 1 interception for a few players. We might be looking at an offensive playbook change. We'll see. Justin Herbert wins MVP here on the New York Giants. That's something. Kenny Pickett up there, that's kind of different. Normally I see him get replaced. Apparently the Steelers couldn't find a replacement for him here, and it worked out well for them. Offensive player of the year goes to Alvin Kamara. No Cardinals up here. Okay. I guess I don't know who we would have had in contention. Maybe Rondale Moore, I guess, but not up there. Defensive player of the year went to Aaron Donald. 3 NFC West players for the top 3, because of course that would happen, but no Cardinals up there. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Grayson Schmidt. That's a hard name for me to say for some reason, of the Detroit Lions. Looks like their new QB. No Cardinals up here, and defensive rookie of the year does go to Max Harold. Let's go. Now, unfortunately, he's going to be terrible next year. I can tell you that, because he's going to get superstar dev. He's probably going to go up to like a 77-ish overall, and he's going to start and get like 4 sacks. I'm calling it now. Players never do well in back-to-back seasons in this game if they're like a breakout player or something. If they're already a good player, then sure, but it seems like, I don't know, it's just really inconsistent. Jamie Ball at number 3, though. Johnny Palmer at number 4. We did well with the defensive rookies. All 3 of our defensive picks do make the list. All top 4. Or was it top 5? I don't remember. Let's get into the offseason, and let's hopefully make this team good again. I love how the best our team did was when we were a fucking 74 overall. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Madden. Very cool. All right, well, that's an interesting Super Bowl. You know, to be fair, those are 2 kind of up-and-coming teams. And let me tell you, your mother keeps me up and coming, you know what I mean? But, yeah, the Giants win the Super Bowl. I guess it would be Super Bowl 60, not 59, because this is a year in the past, this is. So Super Bowl 60, Giants win it over the Texans. You heard it here first, folks. Max Harold does get an upgrade here. I mean, it's up to a 77 with morale, technically, and he did get superstar dev. So we'll see if he can repeat his success. He wasn't like a crazy good player, but did have a really good rookie year. So hopefully he can grow on that. Ooh, I just like tweaked the fuck out of my neck. I don't know how I did that. But in terms of re-signings, we have 128 mil to work with. Isaiah Simmons went up to superstar dev. Well, now I want to re-sign him. We'll try very player friendly, 6 years, 72 mil. And he does take it. Okay, cool. That's a lot of money, but honestly, it's only affecting 9 mil in cap space right now. Is that what that did? So that's not too bad. And that'll be the only thing it ever, or the only amount it ever does, because this is the last year of the rebuild. So I'm cool with that. We'll try very player friendly for Rondale Moore, 5 years, 62 mil. Honestly, well, yeah, he's been really good for us. I'm surprised he hasn't gone up to superstar dev. He has been like our leading receiver in 2 of the 3 years, and he does resign. So that's pretty massive. And then Desmond King is regressing here, and he's not interested. He did have 2 picks this year. Ooh, that's not, for Madden, that's a pretty good year. I hate having to say for Madden every time I see a player do well, because Madden stats are just really unrealistic. Like, how does a starting corner only get 2 pass deflections in a season? Are they like sitting down whenever the ball gets thrown their way? Like, what the fuck are they doing? But for Madden terms, 6 pass deflections, 2 picks, only 40 catches allowed is a pretty good year. So I might re-sign him if he wants to. He's really cheap though. We'll try 2 years, 13.4. If not, we can probably upgrade. Yeah, he doesn't want to re-sign. We can find a younger player there. Are they going to play as well? Not a chance, but it makes the team look better. So at the end of the day, I can only do so much. I'm almost thinking about like making the focal point of these rebuilds purely just building as good of an overall team as I can, because I try to do both building a really good overall team and building a team that has success. So if like someone does terribly, I just get rid of them, even if they are a good overall. But I'm kind of thinking about just doing them to where even if they do terribly, I'll still keep them if they're a good overall, and just try to build like as high overall of a team as I can. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing I can really do about the simulation and how terrible it is. I can really only do so much, you know what I mean? But anyways, in free agency, there are some good players. It's kind of making me regret re-signing Rondale Moore. Well, I don't regret it. He's been really good, but like Jalen Waddle was there. We could upgrade big time there. I still could sign him, to be honest. Oh yeah, and I do want to move Isaiah Simmons back down to linebacker. He's only an 80 overall there. He hasn't really developed much at linebacker, which is a little surprising because it's been upgrading his run support at safety, but it is what it is. Still a pretty good player. We are like desperate for corner. This looks like the Cardinals corner room in real life. You know what? This is honestly better, which is depressing. So yeah, I definitely want to look at corner. The 74 overall at tackle is a little ugly, but Hobson was really good. I might honestly look for a running back too, because I mean, Gibson was solid, but I did see someone there that would be a big upgrade. And we might as well just go crazy this year. It's all or nothing this year. We don't have to worry about this affecting us in the future. Mikey McDingle's retiring after this year, no matter what. You know what I mean? You know what? That's a good way to put it. That's a way to make it seem more realistic. He's like, all right, I don't care what happens in the future. I want to be as good as we can this year because this is my final year. This is Mikey McDingle's last ride, I guess. There's some term I'm looking for there. I just can't think of it. All right, here's what we're going to do for the first wave of free agency. It's going to be Jalen Waddle, who we do have the lead for. Can't guarantee that we get him. Honestly, I kind of just have a feeling he'll sign with like the Patriots or something, but hopefully we get him. Najee Harris, we do have the lead for him. The Lions and Bears are also interested, but would be a big upgrade at running back, even though Antonio Gibson was solid, but he wasn't great. Did reach 1,000 yards, but only 4 yards per carry, just got the ball a lot. Chidobe Awuzie, I get him a shit ton in rebuilds, to be honest, but we really need a number 1 corner, and he isn't like the best or anything, but he's definitely better than like a 75 overall, so we'll definitely take it. We have the lead for him also over the Lions. Matt Milano, we're going to be going for him. Is he necessary? No, but is he an upgrade? Yes, and that's what we're looking for here. Not really necessary players for some of them, but definitely upgrades, because we might as well spend this money. We're the only team interested in him. We'll see if we can get him. And then Asante Samuel Jr., I do really want him, but the Bears are tied for the lead for him. If we don't get him, there are other options. I'm just hoping they don't sign if he doesn't sign. We'll see what happens, but let's see if any of these players sign. They all sign, and we get all 5 of them. So Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris, Chidobe Awuzie, Matt Milano, and Asante Samuel Jr. are all now Arizona Cardinals. Is this realistic? I don't know, but is it fun? Yes. And now we just have 45 mil left over that I have no idea what to do with. All right, here's another group of players just because we can. It's going to be Michael Pierce, Matt Judon, Matt Gay, for obvious reasons, elite name, Juan Thornhill, and Foster Moreau. I guess there are some starters here, but just like really good depth signings because we have money. We still have 11 mil left over. I'm going to go for more players, but yeah, we're just going crazy here basically. Let's see if any of these players sign. Honestly, we're probably fine if some of them don't. We do get Michael Pierce, we get Matt Gay, we get Juan Thornhill, and we get Foster Moreau. We did not get Matt Judon, I guess, but that's fine. Let's just go for Tommy Townsend and Jonathan Grenard. We do get Tommy Townsend, but Jonathan Grenard doesn't sign yet, and we're gonna have to simulate to the next week. Honestly, if we get him, we get him. We don't, we don't. Let's just get to the draft. All right, kind of starting now in rebuilds. Not necessarily starting now, but I've been doing some recently. I kind of want to make like one big trade throughout the rebuild, because I mean, typically, at least once in a while, every team in the NFL makes a like decently big trade. Not every team, obviously, but it feels almost unrealistic that I don't do many trades. So this is a fun one. It might be an overpay for us, honestly, but it's going to be Josh Jones, who's a backup now, obviously, and a first-round pick for Marcus Williams. And the third does make it a lot better for us, so this definitely isn't an overpay. We're just kind of lacking, like, star power, I guess, on defense, so I wanted to add some of that with Marcus Williams. I feel like it does that. A very underrated safety. Now we have maybe the best safety duo in the NFL between him and Budda Baker, and I don't know what I would have done with that first-round pick anyways. I mean, I could have drafted maybe another offensive lineman, or like, God, I don't know, a corner or another edge. That probably wouldn't have worked out. So I think that was good value. I think that was a good thing to do with that pick. We'll see. I do like Jalen Thompson as a Washington State fan. I mean, I think he got like kicked out of Washington State. Also, he looks 50 years old. What is that face? That's a little scary looking. Kind of looked like he was about to ask me if I wanted to get some candy inside of his van. Not even close to actually what he looks like, but, well, I guess that's what the BJ Ojulari picture looks like too. Either way, our defense is looking very good now. This is the rare occasion where we actually have a higher overall defense than offense. I guess just because our offensive line is a low overall, but I mean, it's a disgusting receiver group, disgusting running back group. Kyler was good the first year at least. We could maybe use a tight end, but Trey McBride has played pretty well. Why is that so hard to say? It's a lot of L's and R's, I guess. I don't know. Either way, we're looking good here. I don't know why I decided to give a full team breakdown, but I did. Let's get into the draft, and hopefully we can make some moves. We'll see. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do, but we'll find something to do. All right, well, here the Dolphins of all teams have the #1 overall pick. What the hell is their team looking like now? Because I'm pretty sure they lost Tua. They lost Jalen Waddle now, obviously to us, but they still have Tyreek. They have Jalen Ramsey, Teron Armstead. Is this team really bad enough to have the #1? Oh, maybe it is. Who was even their starting QB? I don't know. It was probably someone else that they just let go in free agency. Yeah, I guess I understand why that was the #1 overall pick team. I guess. But we have the number 24, no, round 2, pick 14. That's our first pick. Is there even really anything we can do here that would be an upgrade? I don't know, but I'm gonna try to find an upgrade. Maybe I can't, though. Oh, this is one of the worst first-round linemen I've ever seen. What the fuck? You know, Braden Watkins is kind of an awkward... maybe he's not good. I was gonna say he's an awkward fit, but he looks really good. I saw the A power moves and tackle, but that looks like the only good thing about him. Everything else is a C other than awareness. He is an F injury player, though. I mean, that could be a good sign. He's decently quick for his... well, he's not that big. I don't know. He's just not really good at that much. Only 2 things, but those 2 things might be good enough to make him a good overall, because those are 2 pretty important things. The thing I was gonna say about him is he's not really a good scheme fit here. At 6'5", 278, he's kind of too big to play like stand-up edge, too small to be like a defensive end in a 3-4. Definitely more of a 4-3 defensive end, but he looks like he might be the best option available here. Ooh, maybe not. I mean, really, edge might be a bigger need for us right now than just straight up defensive line. So I guess I'm gonna go with Braden Watkins, kind of reluctantly, but he looks fine enough. Let's take him. Hidden dev. Okay, cool. Again, 6'5", 278 is a little weird, but we're gonna play him at outside linebacker. But I guess he does look more like a 3-4 defensive end, just small, because he has 88 strength. But the 78 speed isn't bad. I don't know, just a weird player. You know what? I might take a tight end. That might not be a bad option. It'll likely just be a 3rd tight end, but we could find a good one. This might be a good one. I'm between either Alex Freeman. Alex Freeman might be better. He looks really good. Yeah, let's take Alex Freeman. Let's take a chance. 6'3", 256, 23 years old, out of Oklahoma. Probably just a 3rd tight end. Normal dev, unfortunately. I was hoping for a little better speed, but I guess 4.69 isn't great, so 83 is about fair. Kind of looks like an elf. His ears are really weird, but is that the same person? Like, look at the little face next to his name and then look at him. That doesn't look like the same person, but it is what it is. God, dude, I'm back in my habit of saying it is what it is about 40 times during each rebuild. I'm sorry. It's a bad habit again. Shout out Steve Lacy, I guess, and white girls. Big shout out to white girls, dude. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm sorry. Zach Wilson wearing number 69. Dude, I want to start this guy. What the fuck? luck. Elite name, elite number, sounds good to me. He was out of USC too. Are we sure this isn't a Jets quarterback? I mean, Sam Darnold from USC named Zach Wilson. I'll move him to QB and trade him to the Jets if he sucks. How about that? But in the draft, we did not do well. Well, no, we did with the first 2 picks, but Zach Wilson's not good. I don't know why I was more focused on that than the other 2 picks, but I was. But we did actually really well for not having a first round pick. Braden Watkins is a 74 overall. He's probably going to go down to like a 72, maybe even 71 at outside linebacker. 72, okay. So that makes this look not quite as good. Also, I might have revealed his dev trait, but I didn't see it, so I guess it's fine. He's not going to start anyways, so damn it, I put him on the wrong side. But yeah, he looks like a good player, good value for the second round, and then Alex Freeman, of course, no dev trait. He'll just be a good third tight end, I guess. And Zach Wilson, we are going to do what I said we were going to do. Let's give him Superstar X Factor. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? I don't even think we can do this. We have negative fucking 3 mil in cap. What's the point of this? Why am I doing this? I can't even do it if I wanted to. You know what? He's going to go to free agency. He's going to be a 12 overall QB wearing number 69 with Superstar X Factor at 6'5", 335 pounds. Sounds realistic to me. You ain't never seen a realistic rebuild till you've seen a Brandon the Simp realistic rebuild. Let me tell you that. But overall, the CPU hard through the rest of the draft. They didn't really take a player that I think will make the team at all, honestly. Maybe DeAndre Young or something, but yeah, that was an interesting draft. We'll say that. I'm wasting so much time. Let's get into year number 4. I was hoping to be done with this by 7:30. It is 7:29. Don't think we're reaching that goal. All right, we've done it. We gave the Jets Zach Wilson. Let's go. All right, here's a look at the team heading into the 4th and final year of the rebuild. There are too many changes to this team than I can even count. That's not really English, but you know what I mean. There are a lot of changes to this team. Really, only like 4 Cardinal players still start, or maybe 5 Cardinals players still starting on offense. Paris Johnson, Will Hernandez, Trey McBride, Rondale Moore, and Calamari. But overall, it is definitely a good-looking offense. I honestly didn't think our offense would be too much different, but it definitely is. It still resembles the Cardinals, like you could still tell, but it's definitely different. We'll say that. And then on defense, we're also looking pretty good here. Now, this isn't the best team I've ever built, 84 overall. This is honestly maybe the worst year 4 team we've ever had. It's just the Cardinals to begin with were kind of lacking talent. They didn't have true like studs or anything. I mean, I guess a few for sure, but not enough apparently. And a lot of the players I was hoping would develop on this team didn't really do that. Some did though. I mean, we still have a few Cardinals players left on defense. Not many, but a few. Buda Baker, Isaiah Simmons, BJ Ojulari, and I think that's it. But that's, I guess, more than I expected, kind of. But overall, it is a very good looking team. It's just, will it play well? I don't know. Again, this isn't the greatest team we've ever built. Not even close. Maybe the worst. I mean, in the last rebuild, was it the last one or 2 ago? We had like a 90 overall team. This is only an 84. But with that, let's get to the end of year number 4, and hopefully we can make the playoffs. All right, well, y'all know what this screen means. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. And if you've made it all the way here, clearly you've enjoyed at least a little bit. So if you could take those like 5 seconds, it really helps out a ton. Again, 3,400 subs. We're like really close to 3.5K already. We just hit 3K, so thank y'all so much for that. I'm glad y'all have been enjoying these rebuilds so much. And then again, what was the goal? 200 likes? I mean, imagine if everyone liked, we would be at like 1,500, 2,000 likes, so be sure to do that. But this is how we're looking at the end of year number 4. Lots of development here. Kyler playing up to a 91 now with morale, so you definitely love to see that. Overall, the team in general is just looking really good. And then on defense, also looking very good. BJ Ojulari went from an 82 to an 84, now an 85 with morale throughout the year. The team in general is just looking very good. But in year number 4, I almost said 2, we finished 13-4, making the playoffs and definitely outperforming our overall. I don't know how the 49ers only went 10-7 with an 87 overall team, and we went 13-4 with an 85, now 86 overall team. Doesn't really make sense, but I've said it once, I'll say it a million times over. Overall doesn't matter in this game. But for season stats, Kyler Murray, 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 9 picks. All he needed was that number one receiver in Jalen Waddle to have an absolute monster season. Najee Harris was good. I've definitely seen him do better, but it was still a good season. 1,250-ish yards, 4.8 yards per carry, which is good, and 22 touchdowns, which is fucking crazy. Maybe that's why his yards per carry is lower. Maybe he was just getting the ball at the line or the goal line a lot. It was just like 2-yard runs, and it was kind of bringing his number down. I don't know. Antonio Gibson also had 7 touchdowns, receiving almost 1,300 yards in 17 touchdowns for Jalen Waddle, almost 1,100 yards for Rondale Moore, 5 touchdowns, 1,000 yards for Brandon Ayuk, 11 touchdowns, and even Trey McBride over 900 yards, 5 touchdowns. Almost 4 1,000-yard receivers. That's kind of crazy. Blocking was very, very good. Honestly, Jay Hobson, I feel like I haven't talked about him enough. He might be one of the best, like, rookie linemen I've ever had. He's been a monster for both years. Makes sense. He is a pure pass blocker, no run block to his game like we've been over, but sometimes Madden players don't really play like their ratings. Like, sometimes a player with really good run block but really terrible pass block will be a really good pass blocker, and then sometimes players with really great pass block but really terrible run block will be terrible pass blockers. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It is what it is. It made sense there, so I won't complain. Isaiah Simmons led the team with 146 tackles. He got like all the tackles. Nobody else over 100. Matt Milano with 99 though in his first year here. Deion Spiller led the team for tackles for loss with 19, 13 for Oliver, 12 for Ojulari, 11 for Harold. Sacks, 11.5 for BJ Ojulari, having a really good season here. 8 sacks for Ed Oliver, 6 for Spiller, and only 5 for Max Harold. Hey, look, I was close. I predicted 4 sacks for him because he had a good year last year. It was 5. I know this game pretty well. That was only 1 off. And then interceptions, 3 for... Dude, Isaiah Simmons was really good. I'm glad we re-signed him. 3 interceptions for him, though. 3 for Budda Baker. And then 2 for Matt Milano, Marcus Williams, Chidobe Awuzie, and then 1 for a few players. But let's check out who won MVP. It goes to Patrick Mahomes, unfortunately. I was hoping Kyler could win it, but he was at number 3. At least he got close. Mac Jones on the Raiders here. I mean, they have Jimmy G. Tom Brady owns the Raiders now, or not fully, but like part of it. And now they have Mac Jones here. They just love their fucking Patriots QBs, apparently. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Saquon Barkley. Jalen Waddle at number 6. Najee at number 9. Nice. And then Kyler at 10. Micah Parsons wins Defensive Player of the Year. Any Cardinals? Isaiah Simmons at 6. BJ Ojulari at 8. I was going to say maybe we see him up here, but I didn't because I didn't know if he was good enough, but apparently he was. So we love to see that. James Baldwin of the 2-15 Falcons wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. He is an 83 overall. I wonder what position he plays. Any Cardinals up here? No. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jalen Coakley of the Eagles. I'm like burping and shit. I said Eagles really weird. But overall, very, very good year number 4. Did we deserve to be like super good this year? I don't know, but I'll take it either way. We definitely deserve to be a playoff team, I'll say that. So I think wild card is fair. But with that, we are going to jump into our first playoff game of the rebuild, and let's see if we can somehow take down the 49ers. We do have the home game, but they do have a slightly better overall team. It seems like the key to like success in Madden rebuilds in franchise is just having a lot of depth. In real life, that's definitely very, very important. I'm just surprised it's a thing when you have injuries off in Madden because they don't even see the field anyways. But it definitely seems if you get a lot of really good depth, your team does well. I don't know why. Like I said, in real life that makes sense, but I don't know. It's interesting. Beautiful top of the stadium. Why were we looking at that? Does it do that for stadiums that like aren't domes and it tries to show the field from the top? Like what? Maybe that's what it is. They just program that for every stadium, and if it's a dome, it's just like you stare at the top of it. I don't know. That's weird. Anyways, we have a playoff game here. It's going to be against the 49ers. No shit. We already talked about that. But let's see if we can take them down. No scoring in the first quarter so far. We do score first. It is 7-0 Arizona. The 49ers do kick a field goal though, but we get a touchdown. We're up 14-3. They kick another field goal. We're still up 14-6, still up by a full score, but they get a touchdown and a 2-point to tie it. We get a touchdown in the fourth though, and we get another. We're up 28-14. The 49ers get a touchdown, but it is too little too late. We win 28-21. Moving on to the divisional. 69 completion percentage. Nice. That was weird. It said we had upgrades and then it just disappeared. Okay, well let's see who we're going to be taking on in the divisional. Maybe another division rival. I didn't even see if there were any others that made the playoffs. No, there are not, but it's going to be the 11-6 Philadelphia Eagles. They have regressed a bit here. They're only an 84 overall now. We do have have 2 overall on them, but they're still definitely a good team, so I wouldn't be too mad if we lost this, but this is a team we are better than. I would have been more okay losing to the 49ers, because they were actually a better team than us, but we'll jump in here, we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. There's only so much I can do here, but let's see if we can take down Philadelphia. Ooh, and I saw that rookie they had, that one defensive rookie of the year had X Factor already. God damn. At least I think that's who it was. It was the same face, but I didn't see his name. I'm just assuming, okay? Sometimes you gotta assume. Ah, yes, another beautiful top of the dome. At least we can see in a little bit. They had it open. But it's gonna be the Philadelphia Eagles we are hopefully beating here. That's such a weird... That was like a Yoda-ass sentence. I'm getting tired, I'm gonna be honest. My sentences are making a little bit less sense as we go on, but let's simulate this game against Philadelphia, and hopefully we can get a win. We go up early 7-0. The Eagles are driving, though. They only get a field goal, but they got the ball in their territory and didn't do anything with it. Or our territory, I guess. No, how does that work? I don't know, but we're up 21-6 right now. We're kind of smoking them. Now 28-6. I don't know if we deserve to beat them this bad, but we are definitely the better team. 35-6. Holy shit, dude. We did them like they did the 49ers in real life this year. Just a different NFC team and a different result for them. Or a different NFC West team. No shit, it's an NFC team. It's the playoffs. Anyways, wow, that was weird. Kyler looked almost as tall as Jordan Mailata there. I don't know about all that, but wow, really weird game for Kyler. Really high completion percentage, decent yards, 0 touchdowns. What? So were they all rushing touchdowns? Not the best game ever from him. No touchdowns, 1 pick, but I guess he was efficient other than the pick. Yeah, 4 rushing touchdowns for Najee Harris, 1 for Antonio Gibson. That's kind of crazy. But we move on, and let's see who we're going to be taking on in the conference championship. My guess is the Falcons. No, the Falcons were 2-15. Definitely not. The Cowboys, maybe? Are they still alive? I don't know. Oh, the Bucks and Panthers are the other 2 teams here, so it's going to be one of those 2. Let's see who it's going to be. The 10-7 Carolina Panthers do pull off the upset against the Buccaneers. It seems like we always face the Panthers in the conference championship in the last year. I don't know why it works out that way, but they do well in simulation. I said doo-doo. I'm fucking hilarious. Let's go. We have some upgrades there, though. I need to sleep, dude. I'm losing my mind. But let's jump in against the Panthers, and hopefully we can make it to the Super Bowl. I doubt it, but we'll try. It also seems like they always get Mike Evans. Didn't they get Mike Evans in the last time we faced him? I don't know. Maybe not, but I feel like it. But here we go in the conference championship, looking at the top of the beautiful dome once again. I'm excited to see how this game goes. One of these teams is moving on to the Super Bowl. I've had some Booger McFarlane-ass takes in this video, good lord. But let's see who's gonna win this game. We do score early 7-0, now 14-0. The Panthers do get a touchdown and go deep in their territory, but they don't score. We get another touchdown, though. We're up 24-7, beating them fucking 7 days of the week, all day, every day. They get another touchdown, though, but we're up 30-14, laying it on here. No scoring in the 4th quarter, at least not much. Ooh, they bring it really close. They get a touchdown in the 2-point, but we still do win 30-22. Got a little scary towards the end, but we pull it out like I don't do with your mother. Oh, Kyler wasn't that good. 48% completion percentage, less than 200 yards. Well, he was a lot better than Bryce Young was, to be fair. Let's see who we're going to be taking on in the Super Bowl. I didn't see the 2 AFC teams, or I did, but I don't remember. I might have seen the Bengals, so my guess is the Bengals. I don't know. No, actually, who are the 2 teams? What the fuck? Steelers, Raiders? Okay. Well, let's see who it's going to be in the Super Bowl. Wait, you know what? I feel like... Okay, never mind. I was going to say, I think when I rebuilt the Raiders, we won the Super Bowl twice, and both times it was against the Cardinals, so I was kind of hoping that didn't happen, but it doesn't. We're going to be taking on the 9-8 Pittsburgh Steelers. That's an interesting team for sure. We have some upgrades here. Antonio Gibson, Lonnie Cooks, Trenton Simpson, who was chilling in free agency. I feel like the slot upgrade isn't as good anymore. It doesn't give as much man coverage. They must have changed it. Unfortunate. They'll do everything except make franchise actually good. But we have a Super Bowl media day. We will go everything, because this is everything. This is the last game of the rebuild. But let's jump in here against the Steelers. We have some dude named Calvin Blaylock with universal coverage. That's fun. But let's jump in and see if we can get a win. I feel like the more I talk about it, the more I'm going to jinx it, so I'm just not going to say anything. But here we go in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I don't know stadium names, like, at all. I should, but I don't. But it's the Falcons Stadium, whatever that is. Oh, shit, wait, this is like a classic Super Bowl, too. Steelers, Cardinals, fucking, what, 2009 was it? Or I feel like 2009 was Saints, Colts. 2010? Maybe that's when it was? I don't know. Either way, Super Bowl rematch here. Let's simulate this this to the end of the game, and let's see if we can somehow get a win. The Steelers do kick a field goal, but we are up 14-3. They drive and they kick a field goal. We are up 21-6. They get a touchdown. We're still up 21-13 though. 24-13 is the score now. 31-13. We are up by multiple scores. 34-13. We are smoking them here. They are not scoring. Neither are we, to be fair, but we do win 34-13, getting the Cardinals their first ever Super Bowl against the team that once upon a time took it away from them. That is the perfect way to finish this rebuild. There goes the GOAT, Mikey McDingle, walking on to meet whoever their head coach is now. I don't know. But we do get a convincing win here in the Super Bowl. Budda Baker gets Super Bowl MVP here, getting a pick 6, it looks like, to set the tone of the game and get us the win. But we have some very important players up there. Kyler Murray, Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris, which wish it was more actual Cardinals players, but those have been very important players to the rebuild. Matt Milano also up there, jumping onto the team this year to help us win a Super Bowl. But that is a beautiful way to finish off this rebuild. But of course, like I said, that's going to be the end of today's rebuild. If you enjoyed, and if you want to see more, be sure to drop a like and a sub. Helps out a ton. Again, 3,400 subs, we're very close, and 200 likes. We would easily be able to hit that if you listening right now. Be sure to drop a like. I'm sorry I'm such a shill, but also I'm trying to grow the channel, so I would appreciate it very much. And also let me know what team I should do next for a shout out whenever I rebuild that team. Here's one last good look at the defense, but thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you if you've made it all the way here, and with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.